welcome to Favorite Cheese.
Episode ocho.
Ocho.
Nice.
Feels good.
Yeah.
We have had a week, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We got a lot of really good.
Hold on. I'm not like feeling it yet.
Okay. Do you need to do any like vocal exercises or anything?
To sit in solemn silence on a dull, dark dock.
You're mumbling. You gotta you are mumbling. To sit in solemn silence on a cold, dark
She
dock.
sits upon the slitted sheet. Upon the slitted sheet she sits.
That's
red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. You know New York, you need New York. You know you need unique New York. The dog.
She
stood upon the balcony, inexplicably mimicking him hiccuping and amicably
How
welcoming him in.
How do you remember all of this, but you don't know where the pans are in the kitchen?
I'm a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I'm the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker to ever pluck a mother pheasant.
Again, this blows my mind that you still know all of these things, and like it's readily at the tip of your tongue.
Literally. Anyways, I feel quite warm.
In a different life,
would you like to do a vocal
Frasier Crane.
Hi there.
No, it's a nightmare. I don't want to do any more of it for fear that everyone has already moved on.
No, I think they're like, whoa.
Wow.
How do I subscribe?
Also, damn.
You know,
that's
that Andrew Tate guy did like workshops for confidence. What if I did some tongue twister and some conversation starter?
A workshop for meekness and be like, hey, it's okay.
It's okay.
Just,
hey,
well, you know what?
It's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
You're going to be fine.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah, and that's okay. You just create boundaries.
Hey, man.
You stand up for yourself.
Good luck, though.
Yeah, but it's going to be hard. It'll be interesting to see how you do.
I don't know how you're going to do it. I haven't done it.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But then you do it once, and once you break down that wall.
Wow.
Greatness.
They're like, where are we?
Chapter 6.
Chapter 6.
It has been a year already.
It really, actually, now that you say that, it has been in less than a week.
Yeah.
It's been a year already. Yeah. It really has.
Yeah.
Delman and I, I'll dive right into one. Just a little homework from last week. Yeah, I've seen more trees on the side of the road. I'm still a mess about it. If anything, it's getting worse. More murderous, more intense. I truly thought that people would have doved, yep, into like a fake tree. No. It's more trees than ever.
Yeah, and they're cutting them up now.
Piles of it.
Like body parts.
It's like body.
Someone has a chainsaw in their apartment.
In a bag. Just body parts in a bag, and it's just Christmas trees.
Weird notes on there.
Heartbreaking. Devastating.
Yeah.
Devastating. Yeah.
You know what you did.
Still breaks my heart to see.
Yeah.
Jeremy Renner is still pulling through.
He's doing great. He said what's up to us. He said what's up to Frank.
Yeah,
he said he'll be all right.
He didn't actually say any of that, but that's okay. Sending him all the good vibes.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Good guy.
He deserves the good vibes.
But this week in particular, I'm going to dive right into my Cam and Bear because it's a big one.
Jump in.
Last night, Del and I were up till 3 a.m.
Yes.
Because on our street, we live off a very busy LA street.
Yeah.
Ours is kind of like a weird, cute little somehow it happened neighborhood that you would not expect very wild madness to be near it, but it is.
I mean, we're right next to like a busy street, but for some reason there's like trees and history.
It's like you would never know. Again, it's like so quiet here. It's so like subdued. Everyone that lives here is very
everyone in the neighborhood
calm.
knows each other.
Everyone's so nice.
Yeah.
But literally, right down the street is madness.
Yeah.
And so we always get a little bit of like offshoot of that. I always feel like we get like trickle downs of like, oh, that crazy person's probably just coming from this place. Or, oh, that wild maniac is like
it's kind of the safe space from the insanity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But last night you were outside, correct?
I came home from hanging out with a good friend from high school.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, and we were, it was a nice, like, it was hilarious. It was just like a nice adult hangout. Like we were like, hey, where can we go that's not loud? Like, but still like the ambiance is
You're
cool.
in your 30s.
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
can we please just have some
So
nice...
we found this bar that like we hadn't been to in forever and no one was there. And they literally, to the point where the bartender kept being like, I'm so sorry, no one's here. And we're like, no worries.
No.
And
we prefer it.
I'm like, is this our new place? like
no one's here. We love it.
Yeah. So we had 2 drinks and then I got home at like 10:30. So it was like perfect. And as I'm coming home, my neighbor is like, hey, there's a dog that is like yelping in that car. Do you hear it?
Being abused in a car.
Well,
obviously.
we didn't obviously know what was happening, but it was making like sounds that a dog in distress make.
Yes.
And they're playing really loud music and it's like a brand new, really nice car.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what's happening? And it's just like all this yelping. So he's freaking out. So he's already on the phone with the police when I show up.
Sure.
And I was like, okay. And so then I'm kind of like waiting around just to see what's going on, if he needs backup or something. Because obviously when we saved this dog, Frankenstein, we were in a similar situation. And so
wildness. Yeah.
And we saved her from meth heads and gave her a better life. So, of course, I'm like, I'm going to see what's going to happen. We hang out just talking to each other for about 15 minutes. Then all of a sudden, the door to the white, really nice car that's been playing like the TikTok sounds at full blast. Like someone's just on their TikTok.
Or just someone's listening to weird TikTok music, which is another
No, but they weren't even listening to the full songs, but they were
just listening to TikTok really loudly over their system. Sure.
Yeah, and then they open the door and this like big dog comes out. I was like, holy, like I got freaked out when I saw it. And then they just peel out and leave. And so he's like, what the heck? This dog's not only been crying, but like now
crying and yelping like it had been being abused. And then they dump him. They dump him on the side of the road. They open the door and they get him out of the car.
Yet, but yeah, and then they just peel off. So for me, I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, what's going on? And then I cross the street and I get closer to it and I realize it's a big pit bull with no collar on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh crap. Like, no offense to dogs, but I kind of know I got to get a lay of the land. So
well, you just have to like, especially because we've been in that. Oddly, we always are in these situations. Like we always. And so our number one thing is like, okay, you just have to see the temperament of the dog before you approach it.
In a fight or flight situation, I will like fight versus like, because there were.
Totally.
Once that dog got out, there were like 3 different neighbors that were like, see ya, and it's like, and I get it, but they just like abandoned the situation.
No, it's always us
even
that are like,
no,
it's okay, we got it.
And so long story short, this dog is running around and I'm kind of freaking out, and I'm like, because it's a big pit bull just running around, so I have no clue, and I don't want anything to happen. So I'm texting you. I'm like, stay inside.
Yeah, you were very like, stay inside. And I was like, whoa, what happened? I was like, bomb scare? Like, what are we talking?
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's a dog.
I really pissed off the Uber driver. Stay inside.
I didn't know.
No. So I'm able to get the dog into a front yard of one of our neighbors. And luckily for me, the dog was really nice and I had good energy, but it had no collar and it did look skinny. It wasn't like super skinny, but it wasn't.
It was like malnourished, yeah.
And so once we got it in there, that's when I text the big guns, and I'm like,
you texted
me.
Yeah.
So after I'm like, okay, we got this dog. It's okay. I've called the sheriffs. They're on their way. I texted you and I'm like, bring some treats out and like, come on out. And once you came out, you just took over, like not in a bad way, but you like, that's what we were. I'm like, now that it's safe, you were like the doctor in Jurassic Park. Like we had found we had found like the Triceratops, and you show up and you're Laura Dern or whatever. And you're just like, he needs water. And I'm like, okay.
I mean, I got him like water, food, treats, made sure he felt like safe and cuddled.
Yeah.
And
you're like petting him and you're like, he has been abused. We need a blanket stat, 2 toys.
Buddy.
And so I'm like running in and getting them, and the sheriffs are there and they see everything and they're like, yeah. And they're like, you go for it, lady. And they're just like securing the perimeter.
That is, we talk a lot about that weird, like whatever people talk a lot about, like that weird energy of like the white woman with a pit bull that's like, I got this, it's fine. And I'm like, but I've always been that person with dogs. I think it has been dangerous for me because multiple times I've gotten bitten by dogs. Multiple times.
Yeah,
but then they always end up being nice. They always end up being
But
sweet.
You haven't been like, as far as I know, you haven't been like
No,
you've been nipped, and a lot of people have, but you just have a really good energy, and you understand dogs, and
love dogs.
And that was the thing that was like scary. I remember like when we first started dating, there was this like super high end like auto body shop, and it was like one of those LA ones where all the rappers go. Like there's always Lambos in there and McLarens, and they have this dog that literally it like is bench pressing half of the time. His name
is Beef.
Yeah, Beef.
Yeah.
And he would just like walk up and he'd be like, "What's up?" Like
he was terrified.
Keep walking.
Everyone was terrified of this
dog.
So
scared. And like when we were walking home one day, you go up to it like you know it, and he comes and he's sitting, and you're petting him through the fence, and I'm like, this dog is designed to devour anybody. And you're just like, how's it going? This is Beef. This is my new guy I'm dating, Delman. And he's just like, fuck you, man. And
yeah,
I'm like,
he was not into you.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're
me and Beef made a connection, man. Yeah, I love that. I don't know. I've always been that way with dogs.
I've seen Tiger King, and let's just say, I know it's not the same.
For sure, someday I'll like retire, have wolves, and they'll maul me to death. Like absolutely, I can see that in my future.
But I'll be in my happy place,
doing what I love. So I'm not mad about it.
You really brought that dog's energy and spirit, and you relaxed it, and you told it it was okay.
I did.
And the dog started playing with us, and it was honestly like Free Willy for me. And you know how big of a deal that is. Like you're outside the yard and you're like, go, and he's like sitting and jumping,
he's just jumping and
he's just like, time. And you're like, you're gonna be good.
And it was one devastating to see like a dog get actually dumped. Like that is absolutely heartbreaking. People are shitty. They're horrible.
Insane.
I can't believe that.
That was the one thing that we were like, is this really happening?
Yeah.
Because I mean, my mom grew up on a dairy and they'd get dogs dumped there, but that's kind of like sadly like flushing a dead fish down the toilet. It's like you drop a dog off on a dairy.
Common.
Not in West Hollywood like the traffic everywhere.
I know. You're like not in like a very normal populated area.
And a huge pit bull.
Then we're sitting there, we're taking care of it, we're making sure he feels comfortable. The cops are asking us
what's happening.
The cop asks like what kind of
they're now like protecting us, and also because they're like this person might come back, and they're like trying to they're like, now that you've called us, like luckily for us, West Hollywood is respectful about that, but they're like, now it's in our
it's our jurisdiction, we have to do something about it.
Exactly. We can't leave. Well, what was crazy is that like the cops were really nice. I'm not gonna talk bad about them, but they were like, not our like we don't 100%. Know. They're like, that's a big dog. And I was like, exactly.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing is that, like, to me, he was a little lover. He was, like, so sweet. But every time the cops got near him,
the cop showed up like a cop. He had the flashlight, and he's like, excuse me, sir, do you have ID? And then he, like, backs up.
I mean, his head was the size of Frank. Like, he literally was a beefy boy. He was probably 95, 98 pounds.
The cop that dog, for sure. But the cop realized, like, you knew what you were doing. Yeah. And kind of just was like, also, here you go.
I did feel like a kind of a crazy person because I literally was like, for a long time, we just didn't know how he was going to react. And he was doing all the telltale signs of like a fearful dog, which is what they say. Like you always
never know.
Have to be wary of. They're like, it's, because he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't aggressive at all. He never growled. No. He never did anything. Even when he was eating, I like a crazy person, like tried to pet him to see if he had any like food aggression. Yeah. He didn't, not at all. Every time he'd take a treat from us, he was so gentle. He was so
Which
gentle.
Which is why it's so sad. It's like he had no tag.
And all night long, he kept looking for his owner. He kept like literally panicking. And they just ditched him. Yeah. And I guess my Camembert is horrifically shitty people and dog owners. And like I've stood on this soapbox a bunch because that's how we got one of our that's how we got both of our dogs. One of our dogs was in a rescue because he was found wandering in Apple Valley. Yeah. And then when we took him to the vet, they were like, he's had a bunch of broken ribs and broken teeth. He was definitely beaten. Yeah. And I'm like, cool. No wonder Weasel, he's as scared as shit. Like, that's Weasel.
No, and he like didn't like people because he had just been in the shelter for a year.
He didn't like British males.
Oh yeah.
What didn't we notice
British
that?
guys, he goes off on them.
We have a very large a weirdly decent size.
We're worldly. We got friends. But he's cool with British women.
Totally fine.
Down with the Aussies. Loves them.
Loves the Aussies.
Yeah. But British
we had
men.
like 5 different British male friends that would come and be like, "Hello, Weasel," and he'd be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
We'd be like,
so,
"Sorry, my guy."
Yeah.
Like,
So
he's better now because he's not as scared.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, we got Frank in that shitty, crazy situation too. And last night, I was ready. I was like, let's bring this guy in.
And I was like, we're not bringing this pit bull.
Oscar.
Yeah.
I was like,
we can just keep him as a building.
I did. I thought I was like,
room.
I was like, I'll just bring him in the laundry room. And the sheriff was like, no, you don't get to do that. But yeah, long story short, we were up till almost 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like I was hugging a dog through a fence for a very long time.
It was also crazy that like these cops have to. I don't want to get controversial, but it's like they have to deal with so much stuff.
And that like a pit bull in a yard was probably not
I just kept interviewing this guy.
You did,
and he was super nice. But even like the homeless problem and other problems, it's like they're not experts. They're just like experts in kind of like keeping the peace and some other stuff.
People management.
Yeah, but it's like he showed up and I'm like, so what's the plan? And he's like, you kind of got it in the gate.
I know. He's like, good job putting it in a fence.
Yeah,
and
and I was like, okay. So like, what's...
And then we waited for like 3 hours for
he's
animal
like, I'm
control
like, do you have
come.
their number? And he's like, don't have. He was on a website, and we don't live in like Buttonwillow nowhere. We live in like, they should be able to just like press a button and be like, hey guys, are you on your way?
Animal control.
He's like, now we kind of. I know the fire chief, so I have his cell number, but we don't really have like a thing.
Yeah, and then he made a call, and then we waited for 2.5 hours at least for
in 40-degree weather.
In 40 degree.
And literally, he's like, listen, there's one guy.
He said there was one guy in animal.
For all of
we kept
Los
saying, like, we were
Angeles.
trying to make jokes, and we'd both realize that, like, obviously humor is our defense mechanism.
Yeah.
But like every time we'd make a joke with this officer, he'd be like, "Yeah." And we'd be like,
I got him once or
You
twice.
got him once or
I
twice.
think I was like,
you did, and you were like,
I was like, he picks up the animal control guy picks up the phone. He's like, listen, raccoons have taken over Barney's. like
Barney's Beanery, the local bar. They're in it. It's an all-out
It's
war.
all hell. Back up.
That's
like,
why I haven't been there for 2.5 hours.
I'm like, what is his story? Like,
I wanted to know, but apparently there's only one animal control guy for all of LA.
So he literally looked at me.
Feels insane.
Yeah, and he was like, he might come. And then and I was like, okay. And so we just helped escort the dog to the police station where they have like a kennel, and then they were able to get it into good hands. But it was just hilarious.
And by that time you had to talk
trust.
me down, because I did feel really bad because I had like gained his trust, and then I sent him off with a stranger. And he was like very into like me, and even like a weird woman came home.
Oh yeah. Oh my
3
god.
a.m.
That woman was amazing.
She was a different breed.
Okay, sorry.
The dog is sitting in the front, and it's literally taken me an hour and a half to get this dog to even trust me enough to like touch him, pet him. And I've done it through probably 10,000 treats.
Meanwhile, there's never been a big pit bull in this yard.
No,
so like this woman coming home knows that this is
this
out
is
of
a
the
weird
ordinary.
thing. So this woman comes home at like 2 a.m.
Yes.
And she's like literally like all done up
She's
for the
high on
night on the
life.
time. She's high on life. And she
And
literally
Texas
comes in
teas.
and she like comes over and he
What's
starts barking
going
at her.
on?
She's like, what's happening? He starts barking at her and she's like, it's all right.
No. I tell her. There was someone let a dog out. We got it. And she's like,
I got this. And he's like, he's also had a horrible night. He's terrified.
this dog is like the beast from Sandlot.
Yes,
and he's barking at her.
fully. And then he's barking at her and she's like, I got this. I'm safe. It's okay. And he's like, and she's like, it's all right.
She gets on her knees.
I know.
And he's just like, he has been quiet the whole time.
And he's terrified of this crazy weird woman. And I literally said, he's had a hard night. Maybe leave him alone. And she looked at me like, all right, fine.
So then she leaves, and like the part that held her robe closed is now on the ground. And then she walks to some.
tell you everything you need to know, her robe was open.
Yeah.
When she
So
left.
then she walks to a car, comes back with like another guy, tries to do the same routine in front of this guy. He's like, what the heck's going on?
Literally goes up to the pit bull again and is like, it's all right. And once again, the dog, who's had a really hard night, is like, rah, 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 rah.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I got it. And she's looking at me and I'm like, No, girl, I got it.
Yeah.
It's taken me 2 hours to
No,
get
and you
this
had
guy.
to finally be like, you can go. And she's like, okay.
I literally was like, you can go.
like
I was like, I got this.
She thought she was helping.
It was such a weird, like, she was like, I'm so into nature.
Yeah,
and he was like, I'm going to kill you if you get near me.
And so she goes home. And then that was the one time the cop kind of said something funny. We were like, and then the lady and her friend came and he's like, or client. I know.
We're like,
and
I was like,
sir.
Hey, that's a pretty good one,
Pretty good. But also, like, are you allowed? You didn't make jokes all night. You're just throwing out some weird jokes.
Now you're being a little.
Are you judging?
Presumptuous?
Is that cool though? Is that
cool?
But
also, yeah, you're right. She did
Should
get
we
him
check
from
that
down
out?
the road.
Like, is there something happening? Like, is his neighbor?
Also, he's been a cop for 10 years, so he probably knows more than us. He's like, hey, just an FYI.
But that part was very funny. And then also, like, our neighbor in the front, like, I texted her to like, hey, don't come outside. There's like I've trapped a ferocious dog.
He wasn't ferocious.
No, but at the time I didn't know. You tamed it.
Big ass dog.
Yeah. And I trapped the beast from Sandlot in your front yard. Do not come out, whatever you do. And she didn't get the text. And so she's like coming out and we're like, don't come out. And she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, what's going on? We explained it in like a sentence. She's like, all right, good night. And like close the door. And I was like, this neighborhood's crazy.
You know that it's a good neighborhood, which is literally like, hey, is the dog okay? And we're like, we got him. It's okay.
But you saved that dog's life. It's
now
really
we like figured out a way to get him.
Now.
Yeah, now he's in Beverly Hills. Like we figured out a way to get him to a good place. We called her like
he's getting vaccinated. Yeah. We just clipped his toenails. Tony's taking him on a walk.
So at least, and then we're gonna go visit him tomorrow, which I'm excited about. Yeah. And then probably you're gonna see me be posting this dog online and being like, get this dog, you know.
But it's a good dog. It knows tricks.
Well, also he knew tricks, and he was terrified, but he was like such a little gentle giant. And I know so many bully breeds get like stigmas about it, and some of the sweetest,
mine was just for protection.
Yeah, of course, but some of the sweetest, kindest dogs that I've ever known have been bully breeds.
I think what we all agreed, including the cop, was like, if Frank or Weasel bites me, it's like, ow, dipshit. And you can, but if that dog bites me, it's gonna be like, oh god,
remember your hand. Remember
maybe
it?
I'll make it. Yeah, that dog could fight me.
That feels like a good Camembert, right?
Camembert. That's a great. So you Camembert that some people are horrible dog owners.
And like I know it sounds crazy, but like I've often
been
like,
there's just a lot of other options.
It's just what.
Than just releasing a dog into nowhere.
There's a million other options.
I know, because we know someone
releasing a dog right into the middle of a highly trafficked area
is a bad idea.
Is a bad idea.
Yeah.
You don't deserve a dog. Yeah. Making a dog yelp. I get like, this is one of the only things that I get like ravenously angry about. Where like even we talk about like our little guys, and I'm like, if I ever find the person it's like John Wick. Yeah. I get it. I fully get it. I'm like, I'll take you down.
Well, I'm fondue that there are people like you that save dogs like this. Like we always talk about it, but Frankie wouldn't have made it.
She would have died for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, all I'm saying is I will say it was hard to start the year off in a dream crushing way because I did see the opportunity to get a third dog, and you put a big old kibosh on it because you were like, he's too big for the apartment. Yeah. We don't know if he's gonna be okay.
He might attack our dogs. But he was a good guy. Yeah, you'll probably see me posting about him to get him adopted real fast. He's so sweet, and it does also break my heart because there's like, I don't know, there's pity stigmas, and so I just hope that he's taken care of. But the good news is we have feelers out to like 5 or 6 different people that can take care of him and like do all that. I'm fondue that like there are places in West Hollywood and Beverly Hills that like foster and take care of these animals. Yeah, and we have already
he's already set up in that way to do that. Awesome. So he's my best friend. He's my new best friend. I love him so much. I even,
It's also hard when you don't know the dog's name because there's no collar on it.
So and we kept all night long. We were like, Bones,
shouting names.
Rex, Bruce, Gary, Mark? All night long. Mark. Yeah. We settled on Oscar because he really looked like an Oscar. But, we were talking to a friend and they were like, how do you guys always like get these weird random rescue dogs? And we're like, because we see something and we're like, son of a bitch, now we have to go do something. I mean,
a lot of people just went in their apartment, and even that would have just been the easier thing to do.
Sure,
let someone else deal with it.
Yeah,
but instead, it was more just like that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've done this before, like where it went the other way, where we found like a Pomeranian wandering around, and we brought it home, and then the girl was so happy that we found it, was like, you know, like it had gotten out and yada yada.
What was his name? I forget what his name was.
Well, we called him Skunk.
We called him Skunk because he looked like a little skunk, but we found a weird Pomeranian we were coming home from a show, and you found him like wandering in the middle of the street.
And we thought it was a skunk, and then it was just this little black Pomeranian.
We did.
And I was like,
he's like, hello.
He was very nice.
He was so nice.
But we called the number, and then she was like, I was in a show. Oh my God.
Yeah,
she
had a number on him, and we called all night long. We called, and then the next day.
I just want to know who the people are that are going to see that and just keep going. Like, that's the people you need to question. Not me. I was up, you know, doing my due diligence, and I'm like, don't even know this dog.
But the ones that are just like, just eyes to the ground, keep it going. Yeah, I guess that's true.
All right. Well, that's what you came and bear. What shall I shall do a fondue. Let's keep it positive.
You fondue, yeah?
I'm fondue that I think I can feel. No. I'm fondue that
Oh. Okay. Hey. It's no one. Take a deep breath. You don't need to. It's okay.
I'm fondue that my therapy has been working, and I haven't been getting as like anxious in like random situations. And it's like, it's so weird because like the times I get anxious are like not times that normal people get anxious. Like,
so like when? Like what do you like? I need
like most
examples.
Normal people would get anxious like public speaking or rock climbing or heights or like something like that. That doesn't faze me.
No.
But like I get anxious in just like normal situations. So like a big one for me is like being at Trader Joe's and like no one's there to bag the groceries for you. And of course I bring my own bags because I'm like a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
So
I don't know if you know this. I'm a good guy.
So like they start like scanning the groceries, but they're going like pro level. And I'm just like a guy who's never worked at a grocery. So I normally like, and I'm just like,
so that gives you a lot of anxiety.
It normally does because it's just like the groceries are coming, no one's around, and so I just start.
They'll bag it if you don't want to.
Some maybe for you because they're like, well, pretty lady, I'm a bagger. For me, it's like no one shows up, and the groceries just start piling, and I'm just like jamming eggs on top, and I'm panicking, and then I leave, and I'm either have to like go to the side of the register and then unpack it all and repack it, or like a guy has to like tap me out and finally be like a manager has to be like, hey, I got it. Yeah, one of the Hawaiian shirt ones. Yeah. They like ring the bell. I'm like, what's that about?
2 bells. Get this guy out of here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, do we need to validate? Are you gonna need help out today? I'm like, no, but the other day I went there and I got a lot of groceries and I felt that moment. I caught it, and then I was like. I was in the zone and I'm packing it. I'm not anxious. I'm even like, oh, this frozen thing goes in here. I'm taking things out of the bag, and I felt like a pro. Like, and afterwards, the guy was like, "Hey, thanks for bagging," and I'm like, "I was bagging. Thank you for noticing that." I was bagging. Normally, they're like, "Are you okay?" But this time, he was like. Thanks for bagging. And
hey, are you okay?
Yeah, he called me Bilbo, and I'm gonna be Bilbo Baggins. Me and him, we have an inside thing now.
No, really? No. Could you imagine if you were like, call me Bilbo?
Yeah, he's like cool, why? Man. I'm bagging now.
He's like, all right.
But I've done it 3 times now without any panics, and every time. Last time the guy gave me a fist bump.
Like I know that you also have anxiety about the larger things in life, but I do think that this is in particular one. And what a funny little beast it is that it literally was like, hey.
Why would that not make you anxious?
Not at all. It hasn't even, I have anxieties about a lot of things, but that is bagging the groceries at Trader Joe's has
it
quite
just goes
literally.
So fast. It's mainly, I'm like, slow down.
And I'm sure.
And then we're running out of room.
Maybe there are dozens of you. Maybe a lot of people feel this anxiety.
I think it's more than you.
Yeah, I bet.
I bet there's a word in German. They have a word for everything.
They have a word for everything.
It's going to be like grocery store anxiety, bags coming too fast.
They're like, flashing.
Yeah. No, but that's why I love Sweden, at least, because they like put all your bags down and they have this stick.
Yeah.
And then they like close your lane off.
Yeah,
and then the new ones go the other way. And I'm like, this is great. You take my time.
Hold on. Can I just say that I did not know that I didn't know that was a correlation, because when we were in Sweden and we saw like essentially the groceries go through and then they have this other little lane where they just like put your groceries to the side
and then it goes
and
the other
you can
side.
take your time and bag it.
Yeah.
And you thought that was like, you were like, did you see it? Have you seen it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
And I literally was like, yeah, man.
There's no anxiety.
But now I'm realizing
you're just hanging out.
That's why you loved it.
Oh, yeah.
It's because you were like, this is a game changer for me. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, it's just a different lane for groceries.
It's like when everyone in the UK decided we were going to stand on this side of the escalator and you can walk up this side.
That's a really good
It's the same as that. It's like, we just need to calm down. I can bag these groceries, but luckily I have had some therapy and I've gotten over it. But I think just as a
call
culture,
me Bilbo.
Yeah.
Call me Bilbo.
Come on.
Please call me Bilbo.
Frodo?
Please call me
just
Bilbo.
any baggins.
Any baggins, please.
Yeah, so that was my I'm fondue that therapy is working.
But wait, was this the same Trader Joe's trip where you thought that girl was hitting on you?
Oh yeah, and I got hit on. Same one. So I was outside and I was like on my phone and I was about to come in and
because I went in already.
Yeah,
I'm like shopping.
Well, and I just parked and this girl walks up and she's like, I just told my Uber that I'm standing next to this hot guy.
Maybe don't say it in such
yeah. She didn't say it like that. You're right.
Maybe I just told my Uber driver.
But it wasn't far off. She was a little.
She was like, hey,
no,
I just
she was
told
the type
my
of person that was like,
I just told my Uber driver that I'm standing next to a hot guy.
yeah, exactly.
That was it?
That's how she did it.
You got hit on.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I looked at her and I like looked at her cart and I was like, well, hopefully he can see. And then she's like, she laughed really hard and then I was like,
too hard?
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's like, and in my mind, I'm like, wait, what does that mean?
Also, what
he
is
should
that
be
line?
able to see. I was trying to be self-deprecating and like I'm not a high guy, but then somehow I'm like, hopefully you can see.
And she's like, oh, you're hilarious.
Yeah, but then I was like, what does that mean? Like, he's an Uber driver, so hopefully he can see.
No, but he definitely can see.
Yeah. And then, but I'm not a hot guy. Shut up. Yeah, like, and then like
you push her down and leave.
Yeah, and then she's like, "Is there like a dark silver or a dark gray Nissan Altima?" And I'm like, "That's definitely silver."
She's like, "LA is a nightmare for men."
Dear Margot, LA is not working out. The men are terrible.
I just tried to be nice to this guy, and he screamed at me.
I even put myself forward to a man in a fuzzy jacket. He looked like Fozzie Bear.
But you did. You looked like Fozzie Bear.
He
was
nice.
not as nice as Fozzie Bear.
No, but he was more like Scrooge.
You literally came in and you were like, I think I got hit on. And then you like told me the whole thing. And I was like, yeah, for sure. You just got hit on. And you were like, ha. Like you did not.
Next time, what do I do next time to go? Or something?
Okay, maybe you should describe what you just did.
Well, they should know. But I waved my wedding hand in front of my face
too.
and then pointed at my wedding ring.
I told my Uber driver I was by a hot guy, and you went, I'm married.
Back off. Away. Shoot. I think that's an appropriate setting my boundary.
She just didn't know. She's just trying to give you a compliment.
But yeah, but if no offense, but if the tables were turned and I came out and I was like, hey, I told my Uber driver I'm next to this hot chick.
Yeah, she'd be like, fuck off.
So why can't I be like, married, ew, away,
ew,
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're going on a date. Yeah.
I mean this very kindly. I cannot wait to see your guys' date.
Oh, I know.
mean this. Look at me. So kindly, but it's gonna go.
Yeah, based on what she was shopping for, she's not cooking anything good.
Who cares, Jenny?
No, I mean, she's gonna whine
I
about
need a lady that cooks.
Yeah, no, but you cook so good. I mean,
that's
this
very
date's
sweet,
gonna be.
Goose. But also, I
think I'm gonna just have notes at the end. First off,
don't hit on me ever again. I do not like compliments, and I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Second off, thank you for calling me attractive.
Yeah.
That did it do anything for your self-esteem
though? Yeah, no, it was pretty cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They were like, you're a hottie.
Yeah.
I get it.
And I was like, hope you can see.
And they were like, oh, never mind. Hey, you know what?
But I will say, even though it sounds awkward and it sounds bad, old me would have like collapsed or been weird.
Sure.
New me, I was like, whatever. And even as I walked back in, as I walked back in, I was like, it was a bad joke. I don't even care. Like, so
that's what you would have eroded about. You would have
why
folded.
did I say that? What does that even mean? Blah blah blah
Frank,
blah blah.
You gotta figure it out.
But this time
babe.
I was like, yeah. That's what
I you heard me right. I said, I hope your Uber driver see.
Okay, look, Frank's into it too. Oh,
you're a hot guy.
Look at Aldi. I'm just letting everyone know that Frank is currently trying to climb inside of Delman's mouth.
The hot guy.
So I just want to say I'm very proud of you for getting hit on.
Thank you. That's a weird thing to be proud of.
Not at all. I will say one time someone was like, I literally asked, they were like, oh, what do you like attribute the success of your marriage to? And I think both of us, like, there is not a single jealous bone in our body. But that being said, we are both the type that would like never veer or never go. Like, we're not the type that like needs that attention from anyone else. But for the most part, literally, both of us have been like, I mean, we're not jealous people. We're not really.
I'm only jealous of some. Like, if I was like a trust fund kid or something, that's what I'm jealous of.
Yeah, but you're not jealous of like if a guy hits on me. Are you jealous of it?
Oh, no.
No. Right? It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, sometimes I'm like, that's my shirt that she's wearing. And so maybe that is that compliment directed to me.
I noticed that you hit on my wife earlier, and I just want to say you complimented her outfit. It was my shirt, and he's like, "Cool, go
it's actually
away."
My watch.
Hello,
yeah,
my watch, my wife, my shirt. But I just thank you again. Yeah. I mean, no, I thought it was. I was like, good for you, and then you were like, but I said something
I
weird.
like to do if someone hits on you, I'll also hit on you. Like they'll hit on you and I'm like, as long as you're taking hit-ons, and then I'll throw my shot, and then you'll come back to me because you're betrothed.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the guy goes home and he's like, how did that work?
How did that guy get? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
If someone you have done that before, where if someone hits on me, then you'll hit on me too, and then I always end up going to you.
Is this felt? And I touch your sweater. Then I go, it is now.
Oh, cheaty. I don't know, man. Can I hear a hit on?
I just did it.
That was the one?
Oh, that was my That was my closer.
That's your closer?
That's kind of my home run.
Okay, if I'm outside waiting for an Uber, what are you going to say?
I told my hot Uber driver that I'm waiting by a chick. Wait. I told.
Was she that?
No,
was she?
That's what I would do.
No, I told my Uber driver I'm a hot guy.
Yeah. No, I'd probably just say, hey.
Well, I hope he has eyes. I hope he can see. Is that what you said? I hope he can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I'd probably be like, how's it going?
Okay. Yeah, you know what? I actually don't have
my name
to worry
is
about.
Andrew, but a lot of people call me Delman. That's my last name, but my friends call me Delman. You can call me whatever you want.
Los Angeles is horrible for men.
Put it there. Too slow. Anyways, I do comedy and humors. I know. I'm a little anxious.
She's like, I'm going to go get in my Uber right now. Do not look at me when I leave.
And then I get into the driver's seat of the Uber.
Wow. Funny meeting you here.
Yeah. What a coincidence.
She's like, dear Margot.
Anywho. Times at the Trader Joe's. I'm fondue of my anxiety and how hot I was last week. I'm Trader Joe's daddy.
Friend, we literally did this on purpose so you wouldn't be a baby.
I'm a Trader Hoe.
Yeah, we asked and y'all provided very well of the hypotheticals.
Yes, and we have some good ones that we'll be answering throughout future episodes and such.
Like someone was like an all hypothetical episode, and I was like, that seems like a lot.
Maybe if they're good enough, it could be good.
Yeah, I'm down.
All right, hypothetical.
I'm ready.
From Music Architect. If you had to be haunted by a ghost for the rest of your life, but could choose which dead person the ghost would be, who would you choose as your ghost?
Oh my God. This is a really good one.
Yeah.
This is a really, really good one.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it's the haunting, it implies
like, yeah.
Yeah, right? Like the haunting implies that it's kind of like intense and that person's around all the time. And I thought a lot about like, okay, and I think like a historical figure, like that's a possibility.
Sure.
Like just to like ask some questions, but then like that seems like so much work. Could you, especially because if you're trying to like explain to him the nowadays, you're like could you imagine if you're just like, hey, Thomas Jefferson, and he's like, what's happening? Where am I? And you're like, oh,
well, I would
God,
assume they're
this
like
is a
caught
nightmare.
up. They're
There's no way.
Are they
he's
trapped
the
in their
of a
time?
Ghost. Yeah.
They don't go home sometimes and
no,
check
they're not up to date on the news, cheese.
It doesn't just stop. They're like eternal
They're knowing
now.
what they know at their time. That's what I like JFK. I pitched JFK. I think that'd be really, because I want to be like, one, who shot you?
Why would he know who shot him?
And maybe if there's a government conspiracy, he would have known.
But you said he doesn't know what.
But then he would hit on all my friends for sure.
Yeah,
like
for
he would
sure.
Absolutely.
But I don't think he can.
Like,
he's just
your
haunting.
friend Vern.
Wait, so when they say they're haunting you, is it haunting you and they just like hang around and I'm like at a party and now I'm like, great, Margaret Thatcher is hanging out behind.
Margaret Thatcher?
No, I don't want. But I'm like,
That's
but
what you
like,
said.
can my friends see them or not? Or is it just like
I think it's
me?
haunting you. So then
Yeah,
that's
so
even
I'm just like
creepier.
trying to hang out with my friends, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, a little freaking thing of like, you know, my great uncle being like, you weak.
You weak.
Yeah.
You weak.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
You got a lot of friends, but no one's really a friend.
You're like,
oh God. Yeah, who's
Um,
a really positive person that we can have in our lives? Because as sad as it seems, like, sure, I would want to ask a lot of historical questions and have answers.
I think Robin Williams would be a good one.
That'd be a great one.
Yeah, because he would make it fun.
Yeah, he'd have a really good time.
Yeah, and you'd be like, it'd be a great haunting. It'd be so sad.
Be
And
funny.
like, why are you crying? And you're like, I just miss him so much. But like,
He
he'd make
would
a game out of it.
I think he'd still make like weird, funny jokes too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily like leave us alone.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be good.
It'd be good. I
For
think it'd
you.
be for. I mean, I'm down with that. I still
Yeah.
do want like a weird historical figure just to ask questions
I'd
about.
like,
but
yeah, maybe for me it would be like, like someone, because I don't believe that ghosts can hurt you. But that's just because of the therapy taught me to like not even think about ghosts.
Sure.
Because
She was like, don't think about
yeah,
ghosts.
because I'd be
Got
too
it.
afraid.
Sure.
Yeah. So like someone foreign would be really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'd be like saying shit and I'd just be like, I don't know.
But then they'd be so frustrated. They'd be like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's why
trapped
I'm
with
getting
you.
them back. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like they're like yelling at me in French and I'm like, sorry, man.
Sorry, babe.
Don't know.
No idea, honey.
And then they get all frustrated.
Le
I'm like,
woo, le sorry.
yeah. I'm like, you're going to have to move on. Like, you know, the best trick to get a bully to stop picking on you is to not let it affect you.
Sure.
So this is like,
Well, you can pick a
can't haunt
nice
me.
ghost,
Can't haunt
Cheddar.
me. You're being haunted. It's not said. It didn't say hang out.
I mean, look, if your grandma haunted us, she'd be so chill.
If I could just be
she'd be
haunted,
so lovely.
I'd want it to be Don Rickles, and I'd want him to just like,
yes.
what are we doing over here? And then
And
like
he's
him
just
and I,
razzing you the
and I'm
whole
like
time.
razzing back, and I'm like I'm just
Yeah.
like walking around.
That's
I'm like,
a good
and I'm like,
ghost.
I think that too, Don. I think that too. They
Don,
are.
he is a piece of shit. Good call out, Don.
Yeah,
Don.
Don too far. Little
far. Hey,
racist.
Don.
Doesn't
Hey,
hang out.
Don. Not now anymore. We don't talk like that anymore,
Yeah.
Don.
But funny.
No,
Good
hey,
observation. We gotta
Don.
update the grammar.
Update your vernacular. But Don,
Yeah.
good observation. No.
Don Rickles for me.
Don Rickles is a really
Yeah.
good one. That is a very good one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sadly, I want someone that like is gonna bring me energy and peace.
For me, I'm choosing fun.
Oh my god, wait, I figured it out. John Bonet.
Ram the kid.
Yeah, because
Oh,
then
wow.
she could tell me everything, like what happened.
And then after
then
you're
I'd
like,
have, like, a
huh,
nice little
you go like
daughter.
this, huh? Makes sense. You can go. Kind of creeped out. Are you going to be dressed like that forever? The pageant?
You can go now, JonBenet. No, and then we'd have pageants in the house, which I've already asked for a bunch of times. I always have asked for pageants in the house.
To take some distance.
What's up with the Delman? JonBenet.
She's haunted by JonBenet.
And
just her. I can't see it. But
long story short, there's
a pen board in the room tracing the murders. Yeah.
Also, maybe give her the childhood that she never had.
And then I'm like, Don, not right now.
Don.
And they're like, they're crazy in that house.
Nuts in that house.
He keeps laughing.
He's haunted by Don Rickles.
She's solving a murder. Together, that would be the weirdest sitcom. You'd have to be able to hear Don and JonBenet, or else it would just be.
And I think Don and JonBenet is what we're gonna have to call it.
Yeah.
Don and John.
Can they talk?
Oh my God, you're right.
Can they cross? Do they go out afterwards like, hey, I'll walk? Yeah.
JonBenet, over here.
Come over here. Come over. What are we doing?
Tippy Tappy, take your tap shoes off, okay, princess?
Well, let us know.
Oh my God.
It got weird, but that's what you want. So let us know who you would let haunt you.
Yeah, I want to know who everyone would decide to haunt.
Our neighbor is like a horror writer, like he writes horror films. Yeah. I would love to know his answer because weirdly, I think he would actually choose someone
you
horrifying.
You should text him right now.
And he would just be like, yeah. And he would be down. He's like, I want to be haunted.
You should text him right now and we can follow it up later on and see if they did that.
I'm not even going to tell him it's for a podcast. I'm just going to text him this as a hypothetical, like out of the blue, and just see what he says.
Because he's not going to go,
He's not going to bat an eye.
You're right. Good call.
He'll do it right now.
I'm going to end it with one real quick question.
Yeah.
Can you handle it?
Sure.
Weighted blanket?
Yeah, I like them.
I hate them. Okay. They feel like they're trapping me.
I like to be trapped, I guess. So
wow.
Maybe you're my weighted blanket.
Goose.
Yeah, you do lay on me.
I do lay on you a lot. Yeah. All right. I love that.
And thank you for continuing to watch and support us.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah. And please tell us your best pickup lines for Delman.
Yeah, I need to work on them for my Trader hose.
That's out. You're out. That's already
Trader Joe hose.
You're already out.
My Trader no-nos.
See, you know what I
think?
We're gonna be fine. We're gonna be fine. I'm not worried at all.